Later on, the handoff to Case and Bergens, the killer bees, Bork and Bergens, burning holes in their shoes, ripping off a big chunk there. And don't ask what happened here. I got so confused. Shout out to the offensive coordinator. He fooled me. He fooled everyone else. Zane Bork ends up in the end zone again. You want to find out how tough this Bork kid is? Watch this. Boom! How many people can he carry? Wow. That's 5 Cardinals before going down. All Arp for this one. And for DeMarvion Overshone, he was impressed, but he also was there to announce a $5,000 investment into a splash pad for the city of Arp.
Love that.
Pretty cool.
And he saw a great game.
Saw a great game.
Yeah, Arp climbing fast on that Fab 15. But I did talk to Overshone a little bit about that splash pad and a little bit about the Arp Tigers afterwards too.
You know, I'm all about putting back into the community. You know, I'm here to help as a resource, whatever that's gonna better the community. My nieces are here and they go to the Arp City Park. So if I'm able to invest in the splash pad to help bring the community together where, you know, our residents don't have to leave to go to other towns because we got that community here. And I feel like that's how you build that family, by, you know, mingling with your neighbors and stuff like that. So really just trying to put out the effort for our community to come together and do something for our kids.
You know what? He said so many good things. I want to put that whole thing up on our our socials and things like that. But he basically said, A, the knee is great. He's working on getting his conditioning back. The knee is football ready. He should be ready soon. B, those Arp Tigers are it, man. He said those guys are probably the best team that he's seen since coming back.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
Arp
They
hanging
certainly
around,
look
man.
like it tonight. He's the best, though. All right, over to Jeff Traylor Stadium where the Buckeyes are taking on a hot Lindale Eagles team. We're going to pick things up here in the first quarter. Buckeyes in Eagle territory, 4th and 2. Running back Travion Horn gets the rock, finds the hole, puts his head down, and gets more than enough to keep the Buckeyes drive rolling. A few plays later, Zay Taylor steps back to pass, is looking deep. And that's going to be Trace Haynes in double coverage making the catch. And that is inside the 5, drug out of bounds there, or drug into the end zone. Okay, that put the Buckeyes up early. It is 7-0 Gilmer. Lindale ball. Caden Fowler gets the handoff. He's going to juke, break a defender's ankles, moving outside with some space. But Christopher Pinky says, not today, sir. Drags him out of bounds, but nice game for the Eagles. Driving here, 3rd down and long. Quarterback David Lindig is looking to trade touchdown passes with Gilmer launching it downfield, but just out of the reach of his man. Eagles would force, or I should say, the Buckeyes would have forced the punt there. So Gilmer still up 7-0. But then the rest of the game happened. Lindale is winning big right now. They're up 35-17 in the 4th.
So interesting. Normally these last 2 years, Gilmer has started 1-2, but that Lindale game is when they turn a corner and they start just getting hot. I don't know. Lindale just might be too good this year.
Different Lindale team.
Different Lindale team. Hey, bet this one. First quarter, Pleasant Grove versus Kilgore. One I've been dying for. Carile Johnson passes the ball downfield, and I mean way downfield. Carter Buxton hauling it in for a massive gain early on. A few plays later, Kilgore's pass, dropping back, Kason Brooks scans the field. Byers, he's been so good, but this one's picked off. That's a gold helmet. No, Jaden Scales grabbing that one right in the what would have been the red zone. Then Hawks, Roland Ritchie. This pass is going to go way downfield again. Fools the cameraman.
There it is.
Johnson races into the end zone. First touchdown of the night, guys. This is a battle of a top 5 teams. Pleasant Grove getting out there and getting active early against a Kilgore team that's just been dominant. They attempted the point after. It gets blocked. And the Bulldogs, they grab it and they say, hey, we're just going to go and take this one the long way home. Unfortunately, you're not going to get the long way kind of results for it. And we're going to have a really weird score here. 6-2. Pleasant Grove up at the end of the first quarter. But look at that, man. Still a weird score, 18-6. Pleasant Grove going down, just held to 1 touchdown. How about that Kilgore defense? That's the number 2 team in our Fab 15 polls.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like you said, that was a top 5 matchup. We were looking forward to it. But we got to take a quick break now and check on some of our late news headlines with Brennan Gurley.
Dan and Jimmy, a gathering at a Marshall City Park turned into a riot last weekend, and now 7 people are facing charges. According to the Marshall Police Department, several people were hurt on Sunday at City Park when 2 juveniles started fighting and then adults got involved. The people you see right here on your screen were arrested today and charged with riot participation. And police say several gatherings at the park have turned violent and have created unsafe conditions. The police chief says it will not be tolerated and additional arrests may be expected. A Tyler funeral home has created a special memorial for Charlie Kirk, inviting the public to share their condolences and honor his memory. At Stewart Family Funeral Home, a memorial honoring Charlie Kirk is drawing visitors from across the community. A guest book has been placed inside, open for anyone who wants to leave a message of sympathy, remembrance, or support. That book will remain available through September 26th, and then after that, it will be sent to Charlie's widow, Erica, as a keepsake. Chris Stewart is the president of Stewart Family Funeral Home. He hopes this gesture, however small, brings comfort to Erica Kirk and helps the community process a shared sense of loss.
I don't think we've had as many people come by and sign a book before as we have for Charlie Kirk. And the reason we did it, we want her to realize that even in a small community, there's a lot of outpouring of love because he was taken so soon in his life, with a wife and 2 young kids. It's just a tragic loss. It's a loss to not just her, but to everyone that knew him and saw him and knew what he stood for.
Again, the public is invited to visit Stewart Family Funeral Home in Tyler through September 26 to share their condolences. Reporting in the studio, I'm Brennan Gurley.
Thank you, Brennan. All right, folks, we got to throw things to our first break here, but when we return, we got Player of the Week, plus 2 more games, plus your weather. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Under the Lights. Before we get to tonight's highlights, Jimmy, we got Player of the Week.
Oh, yeah, man. We saw a lot of great teams tonight, a lot of top 10 teams, and we should appreciate that, first of all. But any of them would love to have a guy like this on their squad. Tyler High's running back, Kadarius McMiller. He had a day unlike any other running back in the history of Tyler High School last Friday. And if you know a thing or two, that is really saying something.
CBS19 Sports Player of the Week, sponsored by East Texas Professional Credit Union.
Kadarius McMiller's teammates know him as KND, Kid Next Door. And if he truly is, then they must be living next to a football field because this guy lives in the end zone. In week 3, he lined up and scored 5 touchdowns in the first half. Then coaches told him he's 1 away from the single game touchdown record. So he played 1 play in the second half, and that's all it took.
Man, I go into every game like that. I just had to work.
And that work has taken him to the stars. 4 of them, to be exact, to go along with his 20 Division I offers. But he's just missing the one that he's always wanted.
That Texas Longhorn, think you got on their map a little bit more?
Hopefully.
And he's got a lot more time to do it. He's a junior on a team playing some of the top talent in the state. But he's trying to be a junior winning against that top talent too.
It was good to see him have success. We enjoy everybody having a part of that success. Man, he can really run, and he showed that.
And he's not afraid to break just one record on the way to the top.
Just trying to break more records, man. Got to keep working.
All right, let's see that score from tonight. They went down to Lufkin. Ooh, barely. Hey, but you know what this was? The coach looked at me, he said, we'd love to win this game, but what I really want to see out of my guys is consistency. I want them to be able to consistently hang with a team like Lufkin, a top 10 team in that Fab 15. They did just that. They'll be looking good. Looking good going into district. We've seen the flashes of it.
Yes, sir. All right, out at Price, Texas, Carlisle Indians are hosting the Brook Hill Guard. We picked the game up middle of the first quarter. Carlisle already leading 7-0. When the Indians quarterback Antonio Ibarra makes a quick screen pass to Joseph Mejia, taking the ball into the 5-yard line. A couple plays later, Ibarra the ball to Elvis Hernandez, who takes it in for the touchdown. Extra point was good. It's now 14-0. Indians lead it on the first play from scrimmage after the kickoff. Brook Hill's quarterback Zachary Ryle hands the ball to Park Junyan, who kicks it into beast mode, bowling over Indians on his way to a 61-yard touchdown run. Extra point would be good, so that makes it 14-7. Brook Hill fighting back. They would add a field goal, and then on their next possession, quarterback Ryle looks deep, finds a wide open Cole Schlutter for the touchdown. Extra point was good once again, and now Brook Hill is up 17-14. Let's check where we're at now, and they took it home. All right, Guard. They take it 33-28. How about it?
The new head coach for Carlisle, Clay Baker, was from Henderson, having himself a loss earlier on. Crowley Eagles coming into Tyler Legacy's home base here in the Rose City. First quarter, Legacy puts points on the board first with a 40-plus yarder from James Rossell. Barely pushes that one over the crossbar. Pat McAfee's smiling somewhere after that one. Ball security an issue for Crowley. One of the opening drives. Doink! Balls are going everywhere tonight. Joshua Lowe coughing up the pigskin on the turf. Red Raiders are able to pounce on it. They're going to padding onto their lead a little bit. Check the spin move here. Oh, put him through the spin cycle. Wow. Quick wash, please. Sophomore running back says goodbye all the way into the end zone. Tyler Legacy leading 10-0. Not so fast, though. Crowley looking to make it interesting. Eagles are operating in the end zone, and Keenan Cotton goes straight up the gut. Chopped down into the end zone. Crowley gets on the board. Legacy has the answer, though. Kason Gray avoids the pressure, rolls out. There's his man in the end zone. Jajuan Owens patiently waiting to pull it in for the score. That's a 19-yarder, baby. Red Raiders leading this one 17-7 as we approached halftime. Oh, wow. Close one. Looks like they barely got a hold on that lead over Crowley down up the street.
And if they hang on, Jimmy, I think they could really make some moves on that.
Oh, yeah. That could be a big one for them if they make some moves.
Stay tuned for that. But we got to find out what the weather is going to look like this weekend and beyond, so we're going to send it over to Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony.
High Texas good fortune continues to shine on all the football fields across the area as we had another dry night for high school football. Overnight tonight, fairly nice, upper 60s, low 70s, few clouds out there. It will be a bit on the clammy side as the humidity remains a touch high. In fact, tomorrow and Sunday, the humidity staying on that humid level, rising a little bit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But then look what happens here. We start to see it in a downward trend toward the end of next week. There is a significant cold front on the way that will drop the temperatures and the humidity by next Friday. All right, Saturday's forecast. 10 a.m., 81 degrees, noontime temp, you're up to 87. Clouds will be building. Can't rule out a stray shower, but most of us, about 95% of us, will stay dry. With a high temperature topping out around 92 on the Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine and Joint Hospital 10-day forecast. But a 40% chance of rain returns for Sunday. An isolated shower greets the arrival of fall Monday afternoon. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Felt great out there today, Dan.
It did. It really did.
Felt
yeah.
fantastic.
Best weather of the year so far.
Stay cool. That'd be fantastic.
That would be fantastic. But we got to throw it to another break here. Don't go anywhere because we got Longview in Louisiana after this and a whole lot more. Everybody, welcome back into Under the Lights. Dan Millay and Jimmy Searfoss with y'all on week 4 of Beast Texas football. And Jimmy, you just mentioned it. We had the best weather of the week and possibly, arguably, the best games of the week.
I think this was by far the best games of the week. Not even close, especially when you see what we got cooked up here for you.
Yeah, well, let's see what we got cooked up here. We're going to head out to New London, where the West Rusk marching band did not refuse to yield the field to the visiting Tatum Eagles. That's a power move right there. I like that.
Plant the flag.
West Rusk with the ball. Quarterback Justin Dotson, fixed play action, quick throw to Gunnar Harp, and that yields a first down. Later in the drive, it is Dotson again, this time looking downfield and finding Isaiah Vasquez amid a sea of Eagles. He makes the catch for a big-time gain, but the drive stalls and the Raiders go for it on 4th down, and Dotson drops back again. This time, looking to his right, finding Harp once again for a first down. That'll play. A few plays later, Dotson gives the ball over to Dayon Williams, who plows into the end zone for the touchdown. Extra point would be good, and it's Tatum 10, West Rusk 7. Next drive, the defense gets into it for the Raiders as Eagles quarterback Grant Addick is smothered for a big loss, but Sincere Cleaver and Isaiah Vasquez were all over that play. Let's check on the score out there.
Wow.
Another good one and tight one.
Tatum's
West Rusk takes it, though.
Tatum's a team I was pretty big on, man. I'm a little surprised about this one. West Rusk, 2 big wins in a row. Gladewater and Tatum. Let's go to Eagle Stadium. Harmony taking on Decab. We got to pick it up in the 3rd quarter here. Harmony is going to be driving down the field. Cool, pretty cool helmets on. Whoever wants the Eagles getting a little, copyright infringement here. But this one's going to be picked off. Malachi Stevens with the interception there. Maddox. It's going to be the Bears' ball here. So Maddox Bergen gets the snap, pump fakes, looks for the run. He's eventually just going to get sacked here, though. Oh. Eventually, he's going to connect there. He's going to connect and shake off a few defenders. Or he's going to turn upfield a little bit before getting the wood laid on him.
That took a turn.
Yeah, shoulder to face. Not a good way to go down. All right, here we go. In motion. This one. Now he's going to pump fake, roll out, but he's going to get pushing through.
Almost dragged down. He said, no, sir.
Yeah, he's going to holy grail it into the end zone. Look at that. That's going to be a touchdown for Bergen. And Decab looking to go up a few in this one over Harmony. Looks like more than a few.
Oh, boy.
Decab 42, Harmony 7.
Yeah, that
tough sled in there.
Hard for Harmony. We were hearts out with you, Harmony. All right, but Bullard is going to take the field here, storm the field, if you will. But they got the ball after the onside kick. Micah Skaggs back to pass, throws it deep to Xavier Austin down the middle of the field. Bullard would have to settle for 3 after that play, so the Panthers lead it 3-0. Here's Liberty-Eylau looking to answer back. Huntley Fisher, high percentage pass to Trey Bragg, makes a couple of moves to get the extra yards, and after the catch before eventually being taken out of bounds, Leopards going quick. Fisher hands it off here to Arian Taylor. He breaks up the middle and scrambles into the end zone. Check out the dance moves on the back end. Extra point was no good, though, so Leopards lead it 6-3. Liberty-Eylau will take off now. Fisher, short drop back, deep pass to TJ Boyer, who makes a great adjustment, making the catch, and then makes a couple of defenders miss and makes more than a couple steps on into the end zone. Leopards up 12-3 at this point. We're in the 2nd quarter now. Leopards with the ball. Fisher back to pass, but Ty Watkins goes up to catch that wobbler. Well, that looked like a dive into the end zone, actually.
He might have wobbled into the end zone.
He might have wobbled into the end zone. Hard to say.
Hey, this is a really interesting one because both these teams are still trying to figure their things out. But Liberty-Eilau's figuring it out after being at the top, and Bullard's figuring it out after being at the bottom.
Yeah.
And these teams might be a lot more closer in skill than maybe we thought going into the season.
Well, shout out Bullard.
Bullard, yeah, look at them fighting tooth and nail. But this one, speaking of games that could have been game of the week, Longview, Ruston, adding it up. Here's Sam Hartwell going deep. Look at making the heck of a grab there. He's still running. Pow, to the house. Ruston up a score early down in Longview. Or not Longview, sorry, Louisiana. Longview punching back though. Jacaden Davis on the end around. He's got room. He's going to make it into the end zone there. We're all tied up at 28, tied at 35 now. Inside 5 minutes to play. It's Powell again, making a play. Big gainer, deep into Lobo territory. Seconds are ticking off the clock here, and he's going to get dragged down or dragged out of bounds right around that 10-yard line. It's going to give him a first down and a lot more. Then the penalty comes out, and just going to run more time off the clock. sets up this chip shot within the closing seconds to win the game 38-35. Longview falls to Ruston for the second time in a row. Longview has now dropped 2 in a row, just like they did last year. People freaked out last year after this happened. Calm down. I haven't heard as crazy of freakouts this year as maybe this did. Like this, they just did after they losing two in a row here. Yeah. And I think it's because of how last year went. They went and they just won out till December.
You took the words out of my mouth. Everybody relax.
It'll be fine.
This is Longview.
They'll be fine. They'll win out.
All right, we got one final break here before we jump over to CBS 19 Plus in just a little bit, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's so many good teams in East Texas, and the Fab 15 covers the best of the best, and we're a big part of who gets the vote on what kind of which teams are moving up and down. And we've seen a lot of the best teams have some big movers this week, including this first one, and not necessarily in the best direction, but the Gilmer Buckeyes. Yeah. Those guys, had a tough go out there today against the Lindale Eagles. Normally a team where it's a back and forth ball game. And historically, these guys are going into a shootout against each other here. But Gilmer normally pulls out ahead. In both of those teams these last 2 years, they were 1-2 going into their game against Lindale, but they were able to figure it out. Now, Lindale is a pretty good team, and they're up and coming. Gilmer might have to start reaching towards that panic button here. They're edging towards the end of that Fab 15, and I don't know if I can expect to see them in there this week.
I was going to say it was a surprise to see them down at 14 this week, but after this game tonight, they might not be on the list at all. But on the more positive side of things, we got Kilgore, and if y'all will remember, they did lose their first game of the season, but asterisk, they played Carthage.
Yeah, that's you get no loser points if you lose to Carthage.
That's basically just a neutral, outcome from there. But since then, they've been on a heater. They torched Pleasant Grove tonight, and that really kind of set the tone, and that's why I believe they're probably going to be within the top 3
they'll be in that 2 spot
this week.
Definitely.
You think they'll be in the 2 spot?
Moving up to that 2 spot, and it's not close. Well, that's all we got for you here at this 10:30 or 10 o'clock show. But hey, go on our CBS 19 Plus app. We got a lot more football to talk about, a lot more good football to talk about still. We'll see you after this.
Yo, mic check, mic check. Can y'all hear me? Is Lexi in there and everything?
Hello, East Texas, and welcome into Under the Lights Late Night Edition. Dan Millay and Jimmy Searfoss with y'all. Almost here at the conclusion of Week 4 of East Texas play. And Jimmy, we're going to toss things out to our site game in a second here, but that one just, Damian mentioned it before, but it seems like it was a tale of two halves, and I'm interested to see what he has to say about it.
Especially, you know what, maybe Carthage came out a little sluggish coming off the bye week. That happens sometimes. But hey, looks like they woke up here in the second half. Damian's here with us with our Game of the Week coverage. Damian, what happened out there, man?
Hey, you said it's a tale of two halves, all right? I said it, you said it. It's just the truth, okay? Right now, this one literally just ended right now. The final score, 56-34. Really, when you break this one down, Chapel Hill had opportunities, but there's three key sequences that stuck out to me. First one, right before half, they're up 28-21. They give up a kickoff return touchdown that basically ends the half. There was like 13 seconds left in the half. Then it's 28-28 at half, right? So that's a 7-point swing just like that. After that, they come down. They're only down by one possession. They throw a pick right here in the red zone, right here in the red zone, right next to me in this area of goal to go. I mean, that's a huge one. Next thing you know, Carthage goes down the field and scores. They're up by 2 possessions. And then lastly, one final shot, one final hope. They throw a pick six. Quarterback gets hit. Malik G gets hit while in the throwing motion. Ball kind of just sails a little bit, and a linebacker goes and returns it all the way back to the crib. So it was a tale of two halves, but honestly, Chapel Hill had more than enough opportunities to really win this game. And don't let the final score get it twisted, man. That first half, Chapel Hill had Carthage on the ropes. I mean, they were dazed. Jimmy, you like fighting. Hey, they were rocked, okay? They were rocked. So I think it was a fantastic performance for the first half from Chapel Hill, but overall, Carthage, like you mentioned earlier, Jimmy, they just have that depth. Their second-level guys, even their third-string guys, are just so talented and so good.
And Damian, I just wanted to ask you, as somebody who obviously played the game, I didn't play football growing up, but you did. So I mean, Chapel Hill, it seems like they played about as well as they could have in that first half. How deflating is that to, hang tight with Carthage the way they did in that first half, and then things start to roll away, kind of snowball rolling downhill in that second half? How deflating is that? How hard is it to come back from that?
Let me tell you all a story, okay? I grew up in Austin, Texas, and I played 6A ball. That's the highest level of ball you can play in terms of classification and people in the school, obviously. I went to Aikens High School. You want to do a little bit of homework? Look who we played twice throughout the season. First, Westlake, Austin Westlake. That's right, the team that's on Texas high school football now is like the game of the week, right? Notable alumni, Drew Brees, Sam Ehlinger, Nick Foles, and a whole lot of other people, right? So perennial powerhouse. After that, you play Lake Travis, another powerhouse. Baker Mayfield, Garrett Wilson, among other players. When you play those teams, you realize, okay, there's not only is there a lot of aura, there's a lot of just great players you're about to go up against, but you're going to go up against a team that you, in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, it's probably going to be a miracle. Like, the Lord is going to have to shine down on us for us to pick up this dub, right? So it's deflating in the sense that, man, you just could not beat these Giants. You could not beat the team that is the best of the best, the tippy top of your class, your division, right? But in the same breath, I never had a performance against Westlake or Lake Travis or any of these powerhouses where in the first half we had them rocked, dazed, and confused. Never. So while it stinks in the end, there's a lot of positive to take from this. So I don't think anyone in Chapel Hill driving back that hour and a half drive back should be hanging their heads. It's a tough loss, I get it, but you guys are right there, just missing out on a few sequences that can ultimately swing this game in your favor.
Damian, thank you very much. Great reporting out there from Carthage. Great place to be. First of all, Carthage, great stadium, great feel out there. I know this was a good atmosphere for a top 5 team game out there.
We talked about that crazy first half.
Crazy first half, man. Crazy first half. We can see it right now. Wasn't just a battle. The Bulldogs undefeated. Someone's O had to go. Chapel Hill came out tossing haymakers early on. Let me get to him here in a second. First drive, Malik G finds Malik Neighbors. Nah, even better, Malik Brown on his head. Mossed him 7-0 for the Hill, baby. First drive for Carthage, Jet Surratt. Ruston Trice working up the seam for the score, knotting at 7 a pop. After Chapel Hill 3 and out, Carthage takes advantage of the mistake, but they make one themselves. Here's Kieran Green checking in and checking out the end zone. Pick 6 for Chapel Hill, puts them up 14-7. Then a blue and yellow outside kick. Malik G finds Damian Blaylock. Look at him making the turn and twist. Looking like Travis Hunter out there. 14-point lead for the Hill. State champs answer back. Deuce into the end zone for 6. 21-13 lead for Chapel Hill now. Now the state champs just keep on battling them down. KJ Edwards, the Aggie commit. That's a touchdown. 2-point conversion followed. It's knotted up at 21 apiece. Then we all know how that second half went. 56-34 for the number 1 team. Stay number 1.
Yeah, and like Damian said, nothing for the Bulldogs of Chapel Hill to hang their heads about, because that's about as tough as a draw as you're going to get. They're number 1 for a reason, folks. They're defending state champs for a reason. All right. Next highlights are a little different. First shout out to homecoming king and queen at Troup, and then at midfield pregame, looking at these helmets, you'd think you're watching Texas Tech and Rutgers out there, but no, it's Troup and Rusk. Eagles with the first possession. Sophomore QB Bentley Moore airing it out, but it's picked off by Cameron Holly, and the Tigers are going the other way. Offense going to work. Troup quarterback Josh Childress takes it himself. That'll be a 20-yard pickup to push his squad into the red zone. Going forward on 4th down, Childress tries to run again, hoping to get around that right side, but he's dragged down. Rusk takes over possession, though they'd go 3 and out. So the Tigers get another shot. Handoff here to junior Brett Wells. Ball's knocked loose. Rusk's Aiden Adams jumps all over it. Eagles get another chance, and they go 3 and out again. All right, Troup back to work. Snap to Childress is dropped, and once again, there's Rusk on the recovery. Nobody able to get any sort of offensive momentum going in this one, Jimmy. Finally, Eagles would settle for a field goal inside the 20. Just kidding. That's blocked. Noble Kendrick collects it. We're tied at 0, just a few minutes away from the halftime buzzer.
Oh my gosh.
That one still hasn't wrapped
Still
up.
going.
Still going. What's taking so long if nobody's scoring? I don't know. Whatever. But Troup's up 13-3.
13-3. All right. Yeah, real tough one there. Arp homecoming. DeMarvion Overshone, Arp alum, leading the team out against Sabine Cardinals.
You said it. I love his cowboy hat.
Oh,
He's
yeah, it's
always got
great,
the cowboy
great
hat.
hats. He says he gets them everywhere. He must have wooed Sabine because they came out the gate fumbling. Arp gets the ball. Zach Bork keeps it himself here, charging up through the pile into the end zone for the quietest touchdown ever. Nobody really cheered or anything. This one hands it off to Bergens, who's just turning upfield and going, man. That kid almost broke free there before getting pushed out. And this one, embarrassing on my part for the cameraman. I was completely fooled. Bork taking it in himself there. This one, not fooling anybody. Everyone knows where he went, and they tried to tackle him, but they couldn't bring him down into the end zone for 6. All Arp Overshone was impressed in this one. Arp took it big time. Check this out. 61-0. How about a big old goose egg there?
And a decent shot that both ends of the 7-mile rivalry enter week 5 4-0.
Ooh, that's going to be a
7-mile rivalry game is next week, folks. That's going to be a good one. All right, let's go over to Jeff Traylor Stadium where the Buckeyes are taking on a hot Lindale Eagles team. We're going to pick things up in the first quarter. Buckeyes starting out in the Eagle territory. 4th and 2. Running back Travion Horn gets the rock, finds the hole, puts his head down, and gets more than enough to keep this Buckeyes drive going. A few plays later, Zay Taylor steps back to pass, looking deep, and he'll find Trace Haynes in double coverage, making the catch inside the 5 into the end zone to put the Buckeyes up 7-0 early. What a play. In double coverage, no less.
Goodness. He's got that Russell Wilson rainbow ball, man. That's a beauty.
Lindale ball, Caden Flower with the handoff. He'll juke. He'll break a couple defenders' ankles, moving outside with space. Christopher Pinckey takes him down eventually. Eagles still driving, 3rd down and long. Quarterback David Lindig looking to trade touchdown passes with Gilmer, launching it downfield, but it's just out of reach. And that would be a punt. That would be a forced punt for the Eagles. But boy, oh boy, we talked about it before. They come on back, and Gilmer is struggling out the gate. So Lindale 4-0. Gilmer 1-3.
Hey, that's 3 in a row for Gilmer, who's coming off of one of the worst losses in program history, at least in the last quarter century. In that last one against Kilgore, something's got to change down there.
This was the score you wanted to see, though, Jimmy.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a really good one. Pittsburgh really impressed me last week, and you know what? I don't think I'm really moving them that far down on that top 15 because Jefferson's a really good ball club, and Pittsburgh really put up a good fight there at home against a good Jefferson squad.
I'm still a little shocked. I'm shocked at a couple things. I'm shocked at Gilmer's start. I'm shocked at the way, I guess I shouldn't be shocked about Carthage, but just the way, they're unbelievable.
So weird.
They're unbelievable.
You know, they just don't look at everyone the same way. They're so dominant. They don't look at everyone the same day. We saw the Game of the Week package and the Game of the Week stories coming in. It was Chapel Hill coming up to me like, that's the one we want. We've had it circled on our calendar. That's the team we want to beat. And then Carthage is just sitting there, Jet Surratt. He's like, yeah, we're going to play a good game. We're playing a good Chapel Hill team. Props to them. But it's just another game for us.
I imagine in the halftime locker room, Coach Surratt was just kind of like, oh, that was weird, huh?
Yeah.
Let's
get
not do that in the second half.
We'll wear him out.
Just beat him down. All right, we're going to take things to a quick break. But we got even more games after this, so don't go anywhere. Hey everybody, welcome back into Under the Lights Late Night Edition here on CBS 19+. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We got a full hour, sometimes more than an hour. Sometimes we just can't stop talking about Beast Texas football. It ends up being more than an hour, but I assume that people enjoy that.
It's too much good football for people not to.
Right, exactly. It's like, what are we going to do? Chop it down? No, there's so much good football to talk about. And speaking of good football, we're going to check out Texas High right here. They're coming off a loss, but this is just before halftime. The QB for Texas High loses control on the pass. It's picked up by Fayetteville's William Price, who runs the ball in for the score. Texas High still leading it at this point, though. They are up 21-15. However, on Texas High's next possession, which we're going to see once we saw the scoreboard, there we go. All right, Cameron Reitner hands the ball off to Ahmad Moore for a big gain. That's a first down and more, and he says, move those chains, please. Please move those chains. 2 plays later, Reitner launches the ball way downfield into the arms of Tredarion Ball. That's a name we've heard many a time. That's another Texas High tutty, and they're up 28-15. And looks like they got their groove back. Yeah, they take down Fayetteville 42-29.
Hey, Ball's got a name in for a reason, man. That kid is one of the top athletes in the state of Texas right now.
Baller, if you will.
Across any class.
Yeah.
Any of them. Hey, let's go down to that game. Pleasant Grove, Kilgore, one of the top games in the state. Akiri Johnson from Kilgore, just gonna heave this one downfield. Carter Buxton with the hands. Big time game, getting dragged around the 20-yard line. That's how you want to start a ball game. Here we go. Kilgore drops back. Kason Brooks looks downfield. One of those deep balls. Carile Graves is picked off. Roland Ritchie. Not Roland Ritchie, but he's gonna flip the field for Roland Ritchie to get this one. Check this out. All the way downfield. I promise you, because he's gonna run right in front of you. First touchdown of the night for Pleasant Grove. It comes along, and the Golden Domes get on the board early on. Later on, the Hawks attempt to point after. Blocked, getting a hand on it. Bulldogs go ahead and grab it, and they're just going to keep on going. They're going to work a lot. They're going to work really hard to go all the way downfield.
And what they get?
2 points.
Okay.
Just a sliver. Just a sliver. 6-2 Hawks at the end of the first quarter. Wouldn't stay that way, though. They'd stay with 6. They'd stay with 6. 18-6. Kilgore takes this one. And they're going to probably move up to that number 2 slot in that 15.
Top 3 for sure. Top 3 for sure. We had him as one of our movers. All right, let's go out. Okay, this is last night. I was here last night out in Hawkins, the student section getting rowdy on a Thursday night, but it's Elysian Fields striking first. Yellow Jackets going for it on 4th down. The quarterback, Brandon Kennedy, bobs and weaves his way into the end zone. Down 7-0. Hawks punch right back. Eli Smith looks towards the sideline for Eli Snyder. What a catch. Hawkins is in the red zone looking for that house call. Smith eyes the sideline again. Pump fakes and says, I'll just take it myself for a tutty. Hawks and Yellow Jackets trading QB scoring scrambles out the gate. Looking to jump in front here. Hawkins goes for 2. Hand off to Trevin Tanner. Slides into the end zone to put the home team up 8-7. Elysian Fields hoping to march down the field and respond, but instead Braden Givens pokes the ball loose and recovers it, and we are going the other way. And speaking of Givens here, he takes the snap, and check out the footwork on this young man, making a couple guys miss and before eventually finally being forced out of bounds. And then the quarterback Smith makes his second house call of the night, spinning his way into the end zone as Hawkins jumps out in front 14-7 early in that second quarter. And well,
that's a different score.
That's the other game. There we go. Okay. Hey. Wow, Elysian Fields came back in a big way. They took that one 39-14.
Yeah, Elysian Fields, man, slept on team out here in East Texas. They're silently, I think, undefeated. I could be wrong on that, but I think they're having a really good season.
Yeah.
Check me out from Waskom, though. Look at the lids on these guys. Pretty sweet. Waskom trying to move up in the world after that first loss of the season. This is a good way to start off here. Bryson Porter rolling out. Joe Irving, hello. Drop that ball for me, please.
Easiest sack of his life.
Short punt, puts the Wildcats into business, and how about that toss? Chris Hernandez with the beauty to Davian Buffin. Touchdown Cats, 14-0. Look at this smooth handshake. Oh yeah. Put the cap on, baby. Put the cap on. That's
like
good.
That.
That's good for 6. A lot of practice there.
Yeah.
In the second, Waskom on the move again. Hernandez dropping it, though. Waskom's going to fall on it. Or, sorry, excuse me, Union Grove's going to fall on it. They'd make up for the short play with a short field, red zone action. Porter to Carter. Cooper on the slant. Falls into the pay dirt. Cuts the lead in half. Waskom going to look to respond here after turning the ball over. How about this? Hernandez drops it, picks it up again, double dribble, bounces it right back. Waskom, he's just going to, excuse me.
How about that block?
Pardon me. Make his way into the end zone. Just how he drew it up. Waskom ends up taking this one and taking it by a lot. 54-21. Talk about a double up there over Union Grove. Waskom looking to defend that name, man. That's one of the premier teams out here in East Texas.
What do you think they call that play? The old the drop and the...
I would call it the double dribble. I can't think.
You have to.
Yeah, off the dome. That's the only thing I could think of.
I think I would agree. All right. Folks, don't go anywhere. We still have some more time with y'all. And when we return, we've got top plays. So don't go anywhere. East Texas, welcome back into Under the Lights. Our time has almost reached its conclusion, but before we let y'all people drift away to sleep and enjoy your weekend, we got to show you some top plays.
Yeah, let's see the best of the best from today, actually the last 2 days. Check me out here. Gilmer, quarterback, Zay Taylor just drops back, and I've talked about it a few times, but look at this pass,
Double
man.
coverage,
Look at this pass. There's gold at the end of that rainbow, baby. Dragging his man into the end zone. That's a great touchdown there for 6.
All right, here we go. What's this? We got Chapel Hill Carthage. This is our game of the week. Malik G finding DeMarcion Blaylock. My word, I mean, that is a connection made in heaven. Those two, they're the connection. They're the connection here.
Hey, check me out here. Maddox Bergen takes the snap, pump fakes, runs over the middle, looking to run, finds his man. Looks like he was going to get sacked there for a second. Looks like he's going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, but Kiwan Neal makes the man miss near the sideline, sheds a few more tackles, stays on his feet before getting brought down in Eagle territory.
Hashtag never give up. All right, here we go. Brook Hill quarterback Zachary Ryle. This is against Carlisle. Hands the ball to Park Jun-Hugh, who shows off the speed and then decides to show off his brawn, bowling his way through the Indians on his way to a 61-yard touchdown run, part of a Brook Hill win.
Look at that, baby. And then how about this? Bork! That's like a name, a tough guy name. Check that out. Bork!
It's like a name. It's like a verb. It's a name.
It's all of the above.
They got borked.
You know what it is? It's a touchdown. Arp was a big part of that big-time win for him.
Man, and well, we know what the ARP score was. It wasn't pretty. Unless you're an Arp fan, then it was
61-0. You know who is? DeMarviano.
DeMarviano.
He's a big-time Arp
He's a certified Arp fan. All right, we got to check out all the scores from throughout Beast, Texas now, and there sure are a whole lot of them. So let's get to it. All right. Our game of the week, we talked about it a lot. Carthage came from way behind. They won it 56-34 over Chapel Hill. Our site game, all right, Troup found some momentum out there at the end. They win it 20-3 over Rusk. Lindale downs Gilmer 35-23. The bad times roll for Gilmer. Kilgore takes down Pleasant Grove 18-6, possibly pushing their way into the top 2-3 of our Fab 15. Brook Hill down Carile 33-28. Arp destroyed Sabine 61-0. Tyler Legacy edged out Crowley. That's a great win for Tyler Legacy. They win 38-35, and then Tyler High lost by 1 touchdown to Lufkin 28-21.
That's a tough one to swallow. Give me those other games. Come on now. Tatum edges out West Rusk. Check that out. They came back. Liberty-Eylau beats Bullard just by a field goal. Look at that. That's an interesting one. Longview just barely, talk about a field goal, losing by a field goal to Ruston. Decab beats up on Harmony. Palestine, yikes. Marshall just bumped, like just, there's only, I just got to watch what I say here. Marshall beats up on Palestine 41-0. Fayetteville loses to Texas High. Legion Fields dominates Hawkins. Union Grove. Waskom didn't get along. Waskom got the better of them.
Yeah, Waskom trying to prove that early loss was a fluke. That wasn't them.
Hey, they were ranked as high as number 9 for us this year. You know, I love those Fab 15 polls. Every time I fill one out, I feel like I'm an AP voter. You know what I mean?
It's a pretty big deal. We don't want to make a big deal out of it, but it is a big deal.
We're CBS19.
We are CBS19. All right. Well, it was a great week, but you know it's going to be even better. Hopefully next week. And with that said, we're going to show you all where our kickoff game, our site game is going to be. Drum roll, please. Yes, sir. We're heading to Overton as they host Grapeland. Overton, I'll tell you what, one thing about Overton, they kind of play on a hill. The sun sets over the end zone, over the scoreboard.
And they play over a cemetery. It's creepy. I love it. I love it. Overton, we're coming to see you, the Mustangs. We'll see you soon.
We'll see y'all then. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Under the Lights show from 10 to 11. Thanks for sticking with us if you did. We'll see y'all again next week.